Girls, and I'm joined on the mic
by Miss Rabbit from Chattanooga Roller Girls in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Long trip. Thank you for making it out here. So up next on track 1, we're going to see the Lane County Concussion, hailing from Eugene, Oregon, take on Uinta Madness from Salt Lake City. And Miss Rabbit and I are going to run through the rosters really quickly for you, starting with Wasatch.
Wasatch is the brother league to the Wasatch Roller Derby. Uinta Madness would be 1 times 11. Scaticus Maximus 1313 Haunt Whore 175 Share 1864 Con 281 Wild Thing 327 Rollin' the Barbarian 42 Effin 420 Milk Toast Boy 570 Inthane. Number 6, Sassy Sasquatch. 69, Muffin Muncher. Number 7 is Robo. 725, Mr. Beast. 934, Dread Weasley. And LTW8, Mr. Testosterone.
All right, and skating today for Lane County Concussion, that's number 10, Dragon Balls. 105, Packin' Man. 1998, Inspector Spaceman. Number 2, Tim Buck U. 20, Dave 2.0. 29, X. 42, Grimes and Punishment. 55, James Brains. 69, Dr. B. 70, Murby. 81, Guns of Ruxton. D12, Multiclass. E5, Sergeant Pepper. And L7, YB Normal. So that's your Lane County Concussion roster. And we just discovered before the game that these teams are ranked very close to one another, 33rd and 34th in the MRDA rankings currently. Flat Track Stats predicts a very close game here. 44%, 56% are the win-loss differential percentage that they're predicting here. Another prediction, 16 to 17 points as the differential for this game being predicted by Flat Track Stats. So promises to be a very close game, and both teams bringing in their established rosters, so should be a good one.
These teams have faced each other so far, and they each have won one.
That's right, a 1-1 record for the games between these teams, and right off the bat, we have a foot race really up in the front. Lead jammer taken by Lane County Concussion wearing black, and Sergeant Pepper going to call that jam off. No points.
Well, once both of those jammers get out and they put the pressure on, they have no choice but to call it off unless you're, of course, going to take the risk and try and get through those blockers before the other one.
All right, and lining up for Lane County is a very tall jammer. Looks like number 42, Grimes and Punishment. Uinta wearing white for this game, Lane County in black. The Uinta jammer, that's 420, Milk Toast Boy taking lead jammer status, and he's picking up about a half a track worth of a lead over Grimes and Punishment. The men look like they're adjusting to this slick, polished concrete floor early in the game. A beautiful jump by Milk Toast Boy, picking up 4 points, calling off the jam.
A nice, lovely jump. Of course, that's always a bit of a risk because, especially on a slick floor like this, where the men aren't quite used to this floor yet, they can often fall down. But he did a great save, got the 4, called it.
Empty penalty box going into, looks like the third jam.
Going into jam 3.
And that's E5, Sergeant Pepper for Lane County taking lead jammer.
And Thane is wearing that star for Uinta.
Sergeant Pepper coming around for points. Lane County, though, all the blockers in the back. It's going to make it a little bit of a risky move not to call this one off.
Inthane is lagging a bit behind them, so we'll see what happens.
Looks like Inthane got knocked out in the back. Sergeant Pepper did break through all 4 points and called off the jam, but it looks like Inthane snuck in 1 point there at the end.
I think he picked up 1 just before he got knocked out. He was past that last blocker and got sent out of bounds on the outside of the track, recycled back in. So he didn't get a chance to pick up any more points, but at least they put Uinta on the board.
That's right. So score standing now, 4 for Lane County, 5 for Uinta Madness, 27-12 left in the period. For Uinta Madness, that's LTW8, Mr. Testosterone jamming. And number 69 for Lane County, Dr. B, still working on that initial pass as Mr. Testosterone is in for points. An easy pass, grand slam for Uinta Madness. Dr. B out on his initial pass as Mr. Testosterone is in for another scoring run. That one's going to be 4 points. And that's going to bring the score to 4 still for Lane County, 10 for Uinta Madness. No, I'm sorry, 14. Points going up a little late there.
Once again, you're seeing a lot of dancing around while they're getting used to the slick floor. While they were warming up and kind of off to the side earlier, I started noticing the men especially having more trouble with the slick floor. I think a lot of the women changed to the softer wheels.
Yeah, and you know, the men just have a lot more momentum, body mass kind of situation that they're working with, so maybe that's playing in. Number 420 for Uinta Madness, that's Milk Toast Boy under the star again. He's grabbed lead jammer for the team from Salt Lake City. And number 42, Grimes in Punishment for Lane County, has cleared on his initial pass. But Milk Toast going to pick up a quick 4 points. Sorry, 5 points. And call off the jam. Yeah, I'm not sure how that jammer lap point happened, but
well, you know,
we don't see it all.
We don't see it all. Those referees are out there. They're the ones that see what is going on.
They are the pros, and a very experienced referee crew today for this game in particular. Very tenured officials out there. So I want to thank all the NSOs and officials for taking part in this event. We appreciate their professionalism. All right, jamming for Uinta Madness. That is number 570, Inthane. And Muffin Muncher goes for Dr. B, but Dr. B clears on the initial pass, not lead jammer. While Inthane headed into the pack for points, calling it off. Oh, collision as the teams enter the track. But I think it was just a little bit of friendly fire there.
3 points picked up for Uinta on that last one. And I think he was calling it as he was pushed out of bounds. And that's a good time to go ahead and just end that jam.
Exactly. No one wants to get the soul crush dragged all the way back.
No, and Dr. B was on his way out. Let's just put that pressure on.
Grimes in Punishment takes the star for Lane County. Ooh, but with a beautiful move to the inside. That was Mr. Testosterone grabbing lead jammer for Uinta Madness. Grimes in Punishment out now as well on the initial pass. All right, in comes Mr. Testosterone. He's going to grab 4 points, call off the jam. So Uinta Madness now up to 22. Lane County sitting at 4 points. Uinta has jumped to a pretty wide lead now with 6.5 minutes off the period clock so far in this game.
We want to remind you, Uinta Madness wearing the white from Salt Lake City, and in the black jerseys, Lane County Concussions men's roller derby from Eugene, Oregon.
All right, out for lead jammer. That's number 420, Milk Toast Boy for Uinta Madness. He seems to be one of their most effective jammers so far. He's in for points now, fighting the defense of Lane County. He makes it through, calls it off. And it seems like there's a number of Uinta fans here in the house. A big cheering section over there in corner 3.
You're definitely seeing them with signs up and yelling out and definitely cheering on their guys.
4-on-3 pack advantage for Uinta Madness in this next jam. Wow, a quick lead jammer status for number 570, Inthane for Uinta Madness. They have had a really good luck with lead jammers calls so far in this game.
They're doing a solid rotation, it seems like, between Inthane, Mr. Testosterone, and Milk Toast Boy. Are they consistent rotation on their jams.
Insane, going to be picking up a cut now, creating a power jam opportunity for the Concussion team. That's number E5 with the star. Sergeant Pepper finding himself now on a power jam. Now, Sergeant Pepper did not have lead jammer status, so this is going to be a full 2-minute jam. Sergeant Pepper headed around for another scoring pass. He's going to shoot through the defensive wall there in the front, pick up 5 points, and come around again for another one. Looks like a passive offense from Lane County in the back. But they did let one of the Uinta blockers behind them, and so unfortunately their jammer did get recycled all the way back into corner 1. Sergeant Pepper takes a big fall. A little slow to get up, but he's going off to the penalty box. It looks like a low block being called.
For a moment there, when he fell to the inside, it looked like he was trying to call it, not knowing that there is no lead jammer at this point.
Yeah. In Thane, it looks like he came through on a scoring pass that run, or maybe it was the points he had picked up prior to his trip to the box, but he was only awarded 3. No pass, no penalty was signaled by the jam ref for the Uinta squad. He's going to start this pass again, but the jam time's out. So there's 20 minutes, 26 seconds left on the period clock. Lane County, 17 points. Uinta Madness, 36 points.
Lane County is down by 19 points at this point. We have a tie for lead scoring with Milk Toast Boy has picked up 13 points so far. Mr. Testosterone also has 13 points picked up. And Thane has only picked up 4 points so far, although he is doing a great job jamming. He's all over the place.
Yeah. Sergeant Pepper still in the box for this power start. That's going to be Mr. Testosterone taking the lead for Uinta Madness. Uinta also employing what looks like a passive offense here, letting Lane County put all 4 of their blockers into defensive mode. But Mr. Testosterone gets through 5 points. And now Sergeant Pepper re-enters play. Immediately picks up another cut, and he's going to be headed back to the box. So double power jam, really, you could say, for Uinta Madness on this one. Mr. Testosterone getting some help from his offensive players out there, and he's going to pick up 5 more points.
Blockers are definitely doing both offense and defense at this point. You're seeing they're trying to run a point and open a hole for them.
Mr. Testosterone having a hard time with number 20, Dave 2.0 over on the outside line. Lane County stepping up the defense a little bit in this power jam, but they do want to stop the bleeding here with Uinta Madness picking up a huge amount of points on this unfortunate double power jam situation that they're in. Sergeant Pepper standing now in the box, so he will be back in soon enough. And a low block to Mr. Testosterone. We're going to swap this out. Mr. Testosterone sits down, and E5 Sergeant Pepper is headed back into play.
Of course, we lost our lead jammer there.
We did, and you know, we're only 12 minutes into this game, but I think what I'm seeing in play already is the altitude problem, especially for Lane County. They're really looking a little bit tired this early in the game, and I wonder if we'll see them adjust over the course of the weekend to the higher altitude here in Colorado. It really is, you know, along with the concrete floor, it's a whole other element to these games, dealing with the altitude and with this slick concrete playing floor. So timeout to the squad wearing black. That's Lane County Concussion. So this is a team timeout.
Mr. Testosterone put 18 points on the board in that last power jam. Those are 18 unanswered points as that went through. So what we're seeing is a lot of serious jammer action. They're getting through the blockers pretty quickly. I'm seeing a lot of holes opening up because I'm not really seeing walls forming up too much.
Yeah, it's more like a kind of lone wolf blocking style for both of these teams so far. So we'll see how that plays out as the game continues.
As you're watching us through ColoradoSports.TV, it's ColoradoSports.TV, I want to remind you to go to that donate button, hit the donate button, help us out, because that's what keeps this derby coming to you.
Colorado Sports TV has been covering roller derby in Colorado for 3 years now. And even more than that, they also cover several other types of sports around the state. So they really are bringing the live feeds all the time to everyone who's looking for them. So we so appreciate their support. And if you appreciate the feed this weekend, please click that donate button. It would certainly help defray some of the costs. Looks like the timeout has come to a close.
Once again, to remind you, we have Uinta Madness from Salt Lake City, Utah, wearing the white uniforms. Lane County Concussion Men's Roller Derby from Eugene, Oregon, wearing the black.
I see Grimes and Punishment for Lane County under the Jammer Star. And 420 Milk Toast Boy for Uinta Madness. Grimes and Punishment did pick up a cut on that initial pass. So it's going to be another power jam for Uinta Madness with Milk Toast Boy lead jammer and picking up points now.
Milk Toast Boy has picked up lead jammer status 4 for 4. 100% of the time he's been on that line, he's gotten lead.
Uinta with the passive offense formation in the back. No pack is called. And failure to reform will be delivered for the Uinta squad who failed to move up and reform the pack. Milk Toast Boy is still pushing his way through the front 2 wall. Grimes and Punishment with a beautiful leap over the inside apex. He's going to pick up his initial pass fairly easily and stop the bleeding on this jam. That's going to bring the score to 17 for Lane County, 69 for Uinta. 16:31 left on the period clock for this first period of our first men's roller derby game on track 1 today.
And Milk Toast Boy picked up 15 points in that last run. Definitely pushing that lead ahead. They're now, Lane County's now 52 points down in this. And it's going to be quite a lot of catch-up if they're going to really prove to be a threat.
That's right. And again, we'll mention that the rankings currently 33 to 34 in the MRDA. So we will see how these rankings play out. And if Lane County can pull the differential more into line with their ranking up against Uinta Madness. And Mr. Abbott, you mentioned before that they've played twice before, splitting the wins between them. So this is a little bit of a grudge match. Who's going to take the third tie-breaking win here today?
And you also have to look at these teams and wonder which players were able to travel and come along with, because it may not be facing off with the same teams they're used to playing against.
Yeah, Salt Lake City, not too much of a trip from here, but certainly Oregon, not an easy trip. And I know that they've just come last weekend after hosting the Big O tournament there at their home venue, and I'm sure taking some tough hits during that weekend as well. That's number 42 jamming in the black, Grimes and Punishment for Lane County. And Mr. Testosterone, a very unusual jammer penalty. He took a multiplayer blocking penalty as the jammer. So usually that's some kind of, assist he's trying to grab, and another player from the opposition tries to come through his arms. And so that's how jammers generally tend to pick that one up. But in the meantime, Grimes and Punishment has worked his way into being lead jammer for the Concussion and hopefully try to pick up some points.
It's only the third time that Lane County has picked up lead, and it does make a difference in the scoring.
Absolutely. 5 points, and he's going to ice the jammer in the box, call this one off, and give the Concussion a power start up in the next jam.
We've had 26 new likes here at ColoradoSports.TV in the last hour. So if you're tuned in and you'd like to really check us out, go to Facebook, Colorado Sports TV, and like us. Let us know you're out there listening. Make comments. Let us know how much you're loving Derby here with Mayday Mayhem.
Huge weekend for roller derby in Colorado, and thank you so much for tuning in. Looks like up to jam for Lane County in the muscly pants. That's number 69, Dr. B. But Mr. Testosterone out of the box, and he has leapt through. Oh, but with a cut, he's going to be headed back into the box, giving Dr. B a power jam for Lane County. So kind of a reversal of what happened before, a double power jam for Uinta. Oh, but look, Dr. B has picked up a back block. He's going to be headed to the box. There's going to be a swap out. Mr. Testosterone going to return to play. Blockers at a standstill.
And of course, that means the full 2 minutes for the jam. We no longer have a lead.
That's right. Mr. Testosterone jumps through the middle of that defensive wall. Lane County getting set up for another pass here. Mr. Testosterone really pushing. He gets through, picks up all 5 points. And Dr. B coming out of the box is engaging with the back of the pack now again. Nice jump from Mr. Testosterone. Gets another grand slam on the board for Uinta. Dr. B out and clear with 4 points under his belt for Lane County. And again, this is going to go the full 2 minutes.
This is where the blockers really become important.
Absolutely. A nice defensive effort by Sergeant Pepper. Yeah, but he does pick up a low block for that. So Mr. Testosterone in again for points now, but only 2 Lane County blockers on the track make that an easy pass for him.
Picking up some high scores
Just
during this.
A couple of seconds left in this jam. It did expire on time. 4 more points on the board for Lane County.
Lane County picked up 12 points and Uinta picked up 18.
Wow, that was a lot of points for one jam.
When they went back and forth on the power jam, that makes a big difference as well. But when you go the full 2 minutes, that's opening the door. It's like both teams in a power jam in a way.
Pass for pass, you know, if the defense isn't there to stop the jammers, it'll just go pass for pass with both teams picking up a lot of points in that situation. Milk Toast Boy I don't even know how to describe that. Flying through the pack for lead jammer. Grimes in punishment for Lane County is also out on his initial pass. Milk Toast in for points. A nice spin move around the outside. He's going to pick up 4 points, call it off.
It was a difficult time with Lane County only having 2 blockers out there. They really couldn't mount much of a defense anyway. But with Lane County's jammer coming up around, best thing to do, get your points, call it.
Absolutely. Those 2 Lane County blockers both standing in the box at the start of this jam, so it is going to be a 4-on-2 pack advantage to Uinta. Insane with a quick lead jammer called for Uinta Madness. D12, that's multi-class, taking the star for the first time for Lane County. Pushing at 1 last blocker to pick up the initial pass, and he gets that. With Insane back in scoring points, he's going to call that one off.
Insane literally skipped through on the inside, just barely touching that rope without going past. And he knew exactly where his skates were when he picked up that last 4. And the venue here is just amazing. And Mayday Mayhem is here in Loveland, Colorado at the Ranch Events Complex. And the Ranch is Northern Colorado's premier events complex, hosting events of all sizes, from corporate meetings to regional trade shows and premier livestock events. You can find out more about them, treventscomplex.com.
Grimes in punishment with the star for Lane County as this jam is already underway. He gets knocked out to the outside, has to recycle. But it looks like a really well-timed run back causes the cut on Grimes in punishment. So Uinta Madness finds themselves in yet another power jam. Looks like number 6, Sassy Sasquatch, had lost his helmet cover. It had fallen to the ground, and then he picked it up. So he will be picking up points on that pass. That was a 5-point grand slam. There's not another kind of grand slam.
No, there's not. Getting all 5 of those points.
A back block going to be picked up on that sassy move from Sassy Sasquatch. So he's going to go sit in the box for 30 seconds. That's going to release Grimes in punishment, who is already standing. Pack picks up the pace now as Grimes in punishment re-enters for points. No pack called by the referees, but they quickly reform. Yet another cut pulled by the Uinta Madness squad. There is some expert cut pulling going on here by these two teams. Sassy Sasquatch back into the game.
You know, with that track cut, they have to advance themselves relative to the rest of that pack.
And you can't just go back in front of go back in behind the person who hit you. You have to go back in behind anyone who was in front of you. And so these jammers really getting knocked around. It's a difficult thing to keep the awareness and make sure that you're not advancing your position from out of bounds. Both jammers in to score right now, pushing at their respective walls. Grimes in punishment going to get knocked back and recycled into corner 4. Sassy Sasquatch pushing it, just one more blocker in the front. He gets by for 5 points, and the jam times out.
Once again, that was a contest between the blockers, because you go the full 2 minutes, those jammers, they can only do the best they can do. Go around, get more points over and over again. And the blockers are the ones that are going to determine who's going to get those points in a jam situation like that.
Just over 7 minutes left in the first period. The score standing at Lane County 34, Uinta Madness 113. So the Salt Lake City squad really opening up the score differential here in the first half. Lead jammer call goes to Uinta Madness once again. That's Milk Toast Boy. D12 for Lane County, that's multi-class, is also out on his initial pass, but Milk Toast Boy in and scoring points right away. He does get hit to the inside, only picking up 2 points on that pass. But that brings the score for Uinta up to 115, Lane County still at 34.
And Uinta, of course, in the white jerseys, Lane County in the black.
That's right. 6 minutes, 30 seconds left in the period. I see Grimes in punishment, jamming for Lane County, and that's Mr. Testosterone for Uinta Madness. A quick move for Inthane. He's going to be the lead jammer.
He's picked up lead 4 out of 6 times.
He seems to be a very strong jammer. He gets into the pack, but sees Grimes in punishment right on his heels, so picks up 1 point and calls that jam off. This period clock winding down.
1 point for each team on that pass.
We've seen a lot of power jams back.
That's right, we really have, and usually it's not just one, it's
both.
More than one at a time.
Both teams have had 5 power jams. Uinta has taken really good advantage. They've picked up 51 points in their power jams compared to the 15 points that Lane County's picked up.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it? Oh, a huge cleanup necessary in corner 1 there. Everyone goes down, and it looks like number 6 for Uinta Madness, Sassy Sasquatch, picked up a low block there, creating a power jam opportunity for Lane County, and number D12 multi-class. He's out lead jammer, and Lane County with a big opportunity here. All right, he's through. It's like a pretty passive offensive play there by Lane County once again. 5 points, though, for the team in black, bringing them up to 40 points. Multi-class pushing again at the front. He gets by, picks up another 5 points. And Sassy Sasquatch getting released from the box now.
10-point power jam. Lane County Concussion.
Multi-class through again for 4 points this time. Sassy Sasquatch getting recycled, but he's still working on the Lane County defense in the front. Sergeant Pepper giving him some business there as the last line of defense, but he does get around. Looks like that was his initial pass. And multi-class calling off the jam.
18 points on that jam for multi-class.
Wow, an 18-pointer.
That's exactly the kind of jam they need if they're going to cut back on that 62-point lead that Uinta has on them. If you are just joining us, Salt Lake City, Utah, Uinta Madness are in white jerseys, and Lane County Concussion Men's Roller Derby from Eugene, Oregon in the black jerseys.
3 minutes, 25 seconds left on the period clock. Grimes and Punishment jamming for Lane County. Oh my goodness, just bodies hitting the floor. That's Milk Toast Boy wearing the star for Uinta Madness. Grimes and Punishment gets recycled. Milk Toast Boy gonna get out for lead. He really has some moves, that Milk Toast Boy.
There's a bit of a spin going on there, and it's not always successful.
He's pushing his way through, both jammers engaging the pack right now. Milk Toast Boy getting worked over there. He's going to call off the jam from his knees on the infield, but he does pick up 2 points for Uinta Madness. It's going to bring the score to 118-53 in favor of the Salt Lake City squad. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left on the period clock.
It looks like they're all slowing down a little bit, and I'm with you, like you said earlier. This altitude is making a difference on the guys, just like it is on just about everybody who's not from around here.
Even the announcing crew got very specific instructions to hydrate. Out first, that's going to be Mr. Testosterone taking lead jammer for Uinta Madness. Packin' Man working on his initial pass for Lane County. Getting worked over in the front there by the Uinta defense. Mr. Testosterone back in for points now. He takes a hit from number 69, Dr. B, but he does get through 5 points for Uinta Madness. And Packin' Man still working on that initial pass.
They're still doing pretty much a one-on-one blocking defense.
An unfortunate error there by the Lane County jammer sends him to the box. Tricky little track cut. So Uinta Madness and Mr. Testosterone unopposed out there on this power jam. Big hits from the Lane County defense, but Mr. Testosterone makes it through 5 points.
There's some good bridging going on with Lane County, at least trying to extend that blocking as much as possible.
Uinta Madness going passive on this power jam, letting Mr. Testosterone fight his way through in the front, and he does just that. 5 more points on the board for Uinta Madness, and Packin' Man back in from the box, re-engaging the pack on his initial pass still. He gets an inside line. Oh, yes, and he makes it through on his initial pass. He's going to stop the bleeding.
So 3 more points right at the end there for Mr. Testosterone, making that a 23-point jam.
Wow.
It's brought the score up to 141 for Uinta Madness and Lane County 53.
Just a couple of seconds left in this half. It looks like we will get one more jam. It's Grimes and Punishment taking the star for Lane County, and Milk Toast Boy for Uinta Madness. Milk Toast finds a nice inside line and goes ahead and takes it for lead jammer. Lane County defense set up in the back, and a nice drag back by multi-class number D12. Milk Toast Boy engaging again though, looking for those points. And Grimes and Punishment taking a cutting penalty that will turn this again into a power jam for Uinta Madness. Milk Toast Boy free on his first pass, 5 points. Now some active offense from the Uinta Madness squad to help Milk Toast Boy through, and he does get 5 more points for that pass. Milk Toast Boy into the pack again. He does get knocked to the infield and has to recycle back. Grimes and Punishment also out of the box. Going to force Milquetoast Boy to call it. And the Uinta cheering section goes wild as the clock has wound down and we are now in halftime. Score standing 53 Lane County, 156 for Uinta Madness. So just a little bit over 100 points separating these two teams. These two teams ranked just one ranking apart in the MRDA, 33 and 34th, with Lane County actually being ranked higher, the 33rd ranking, and Uinta Madness 34th. So Uinta Madness looking for an upset here, looking to change the rankings this year for them.
And they're definitely putting a lot into it, which is kind of fascinating to me. I'm seeing Lane County forming walls and doing more strategic defense, and it looks like Uinta's pretty much a one-on-one kind of defense. It's making its presence felt as far as I can tell. We had 6 power jams for Lane County and 7 for Uinta.
So that's pretty even, but the points that resulted from them, not even at all. I think you mentioned before 25 points on the power jams for Lane County as opposed to 79 points on the power jams for Uinta Madness. So
they're definitely taking advantage of those power jams. Our top scorers so far, Uinta has Mr. Testosterone picking up 72 points.
Wow.
In the first half. Milquetoast Boy has 50 points of his own on that. Those are your top scoring jammers for Uinta. And Lane County's top scoring jammer has 18, that's multi-class, and 17 points for Sergeant Pepper. So there's a big disparity in how many points these jammers are pulling in. A lot of it, of course, power jams. When you put 20, 23 points on the board in a power jam, you're definitely going to be making a difference on that score.
And of course, Mr. Testosterone with his personal jammer tally already ahead of the Lane County score at halftime. So looking forward to an exciting second half. We'll see you in about a little under 5 minutes. We're about to start period 2 of Lane County versus Uinta Madness. You want to give us a little recap of the first half, Miss Rabbit?
Well, the first half was definitely showing strength in Uinta Madness. They got 154 points to the 53 points from Lane County. We had 7 power jams for Uinta, 6 power jams for Lane County, but Uinta definitely did a better job of taking advantage of those power jams. 79 of those 154 points are unanswered points gained during power jams, whereas Lane County only picked up 25 points for theirs. We're looking at a 101 point difference between these two teams.
They big hole to dig out of.
Big hole. And you know, we talked about earlier with Uinta is ranked 34th in the MRDA, and we've got Lane County ranked 33rd. They've met each other twice so far in sanctioned bouts, each team winning 1-for-1. So we were really expecting serious infighting here between these two teams.
Yeah.
And I just have to wonder who traveled with them, if that is part of the difference.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to start off with 3-on-3 in the pack. I see Grimes and Punishment with the star for Lane County. And I think that is Mr. Testosterone for Uinta Madness, an early lead jammer in the second half for Grimes and Punishment in the Lane County squad. Mr. Testosterone gets recycled back, knocked out again by Sergeant Pepper. And Grimes and Punishment picking up points now. Mr. Testosterone just now breaking the pack on his initial pass. Grimes going to call it off after 5 points.
And, of course, Uinta in the white jerseys from Salt Lake City, Utah. In the black jerseys is Lane County from Eugene, Oregon. I'm Ms. Rabbit from Chattanooga.
Scar Trek joining you on the mic. Thanks so much for being here, Miss Rabbit. So glad you got to come and visit us in Colorado. It's going to be an exciting weekend of tournament action all over the state, actually, but especially here at Mayday Mayhem. Jams on once again. I see, who is that? Dr. B jamming for Lane County and Sassy Sasquatch for Uinta Madness. Dr. B with a big hit to the outside. He gets recycled. And in the meantime, Sassy Sasquatch picking up a grand slam, coming back around for more. Dr. B gets out of the pack on his initial pass. Dr. B with some old school skates there. I can see the high tops he's rocking. Sassy Sasquatch in for 4 more points, gonna call that jam off.
It looked like Dr. B was having a little bit of issue there. So
he
maybe
really looks like he's in pain on the sidelines now, so hopefully he gets some attention from the EMTs soon. Up to jam next for Lane County looks like Grimes and Punishment once again, and that's our favorite milquetoast boy on the line for Uinta Madness.
a lot of times, those jammers especially will not say they're hurt. They don't want to tap out because then they're 3 jams before they can get back in.
Exactly. Yeah, if the jam is called off due to injury, the person that it was called off for will have to sit out. So that one ending naturally is going to allow Dr. B to come back into play if he's able to.
We currently have an official timeout, and we want to thank Sticker Giant, the custom sticker experts, official sticker company of ColoradoSports.TV. Check them out at www.stickergiant.com. Use the code RollerDerby at checkout and get 10% off your order.
And there's the whistle. Both jammers pushing into the pack for their initial pass. Grimes and Punishment at the front, working on one more blocker. That's Khan. Khan's going to be sent out for a penalty, and in the meantime, Milquetoast Boy takes lead jammer for Uinta Madness. Grimes and Punishment out on his initial pass as well. Milquetoast Boy into the pack, gets knocked around a little bit, calls it off after picking up 2 points.
We want to thank you for tuning in here at ColoradoSports.TV. We want to make sure you go on Facebook and like us as well. Comment, let us know what you think about what's going on so far in Mayday Mayhem.
Over on track 2, I noticed that the Cornstalkers have a pretty heavy lead over the team that they're playing on track 2. And that is... DD. Dallas Deception, yeah. So Cornstalkers with a lead on track 2 over Dallas Deception. But here on track 1, Uinta Madness versus Lane County. We've got a jammer standoff behind the pack. Number 69 for Uinta Madness. That was Muffin Muncher holding off the score, calling it off before any jammer could reach the pack.
That was Muffin Muncher's first time to jam. He did get lead, but it was highly contested there. As the 2 jammer on jammer going around. It's always better to call it than to risk giving away points and not getting them yourself.
And Thane up to jam next for Uinta Madness against Grimes and Punishment for Lane County. Everyone smashed back against the jammer line to start this one. Grimes and Punishment looking for an outside line, but it's actually Thane who gets lead jammer status for Uinta. Both jammers out now on their initial pass. A fast pack. Lane County's probably wanting to get up to the front of this. Rushing the speed of the pack. Grimes and Punishment actually getting ahead of Thane, so he's going to call that off, stop the scoring that may have happened.
once you put that pressure on, it's always a good idea for these jammers. You know, they'll stop it. I don't know that I've never jammed myself, and I don't know what I would do in that situation. But once you see the other jammer fly past you, you got that lead, take advantage of it. Of course, when it comes to lead, Uinta has had lead jammer status 22 times, as opposed to the 5 times that Lane County has picked it up.
Oh, but this one is going to be multi-class. Lane County picking up lead jammer this time against Sassy Sasquatch, who's still stuck on his initial pass behind the defense of Lane County. He makes it out now as well in his initial. But multi-class coming in for points now. He skips by Mr. Testosterone on the outside. See if he picked up any points on that. 1 point.
Gave him the 1 point. And I'm seeing more walls starting to build up, a little bit more of a defensive game here in the second half.
Less bridging, less lone wolf blocking. I see both teams as well coming together and creating those strong, tight walls that are required. Crimes and Punishment taking the star for Lane County. And that looks like number 69, Muffin Muncher, taking the cap again for Uinta. He's got lead jammer status.
He's a second half jammer. We didn't see him wearing the star at all in the first half.
He's through again for a scoring run. That's 5 points on the board for Uinta. And he's going to call that off with 23 minutes, 25 seconds left in the period. Lane County sitting at 59 points. Uinta Madness at 169.
Milk Toast did a great job of a little bit of positive blocking there, moving that wall out of the way to open the inside track to let Muffin through. If you are just joining us, Lane County Concussion Men's Roller Derby from Eugene, Oregon, wearing the black jerseys, and Uinta Madness Brother League to Wasatch Roller Derby from Salt Lake City, Utah, wearing the white.
Oh, a big hit by Mr. Testosterone on multi-class sends him down to the concrete, and Multiclass going to have to call that one off. Skatimus Maximus did find his way out of the pack and was putting the pressure on.
I think hitting the floor on the inside that early on, right after getting lead, he didn't have a chance to really get ahead and make any good of that lead. But it is making a difference. You're seeing Lane County picking up lead jammer status more frequently in the second half than we did in the first.
All right, the jam's off again. Grimes and Punishment working the front. Looks like he takes a big hit from Milk Toast, but Milk Toast fell, and so Grimes able to continue out of the pack. Not lead jammer. Sassy Sasquatch gets that honor, coming out second from the pack, so he's going to call that one off. 0-0.
He did not legally pass or legitimately pass, no pass, no penalty. You have to legitimately pass all of the blockers in order to pick up that lead jammer status. So although he did get out first, he didn't get lead, allowing Uinta to actually just stop it as soon as he did.
That's right. 21 minutes, 30 seconds left in the second period. 110-point difference between the two teams. That looks like number 69, Muffin Muncher, out for lead for Uinta Madness. That's our second half jammer. And the Lane County jammer is still working on his initial pass. That's number D12, Multiclass. Multiclass taking some abuse there at the front of the pack from the Uinta blockers. But he is still pushing while Muffin Muncher is fighting at the back for points. Muffin Muncher gets out 4 points, and he is going to call that one off.
He got knocked a bit to the outside there for a bit, Muffin Muncher, by his own team. So it slowed him down a bit as he's approaching the back of that pack. Again, with Lane County building a wall to stop him, as opposed to the more loose blocking that we saw in the first half.
One in the box for Lane County now to start this jam out. That makes it 4-on-3 in the pack, and Lane County going to take a timeout.
As they do, we'd like to let you know that RD Nation, a smarter way to derby, is bringing roller derby to the masses. We help leagues manage themselves better so they can skate more. Download the free software at rdnation.com. I'm still wondering how much this higher elevation is impacting the players. I'm seeing people huffing and puffing a bit more because it's
well, Salt Lake City, they'll have that elevation advantage over Eugene, Oregon. Salt Lake City also at a higher elevation like Colorado, but yeah, Lane County could really find themselves struggling coming here from a more sea level type environment. It is. It can be a real shocker, especially once you start moving your legs and huffing and puffing. That's when you really start to feel it. But it looks like they've recovered somewhat after halftime. I think they had a good break, and
they've also rotated some of their players through a bit better, I think, in the second half, getting some fresh lungs out there in the higher altitude.
So, Miss Rabbit, did you get to see the first game on track 2 with the team from Norway?
I'm sorry I missed that. I was actually house announcing.
I was over here as well, so I didn't see it, but Scott from ColoradoSports.TV just handed me a note that said that there were 250 viewers from Norway tuned in to watch that game, and Norway did take the win. So that was an exciting win for them, and thanks to everyone who's tuning in from across the pond. So this jam already underway. Grimes and Punishment is still working on his initial pass. The Uinta Madness jammer, Mr. Testosterone, has taken a penalty. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Skaticus Maximus has taken a penalty. He's sitting in the box. Grimes and Punishment out on the power jam on his own. Passive offense by Lane County in the back. Grimes out for 5 points. And Skaticus Maximus standing in the box. So Lane County forming their wall in the back while Grimes and Punishment works his way through on another scoring run. 5 more points on the board for Lane County. This is exactly what they needed. Skaticus Maximus out on his initial pass as Grimes and Punishment re-enters. He's going to pick up one more scoring run, call that jam off. So that was a pretty good scoring run for Lane County on that jam, picking up some much needed momentum here in the second half of this game. Just under 19 minutes left to play.
As they did, they put 14 points on the board, 14 unanswered points, which is helping to chip away. Now there is 105 points down though, and whether or not they can make it up, I don't know. I think they're just trying to chip away, so it helps them in the rankings a bit more at this point.
That's right. Milk Toast Boy out to jam for Uinta Madness. Up against Multiclass for Lane County. Milk Toast Boy looking for that line on the inside. He gets it. It's going to be lead jammer. A forearm penalty to Mr. Testosterone. It's going to give a pack advantage to Lane County, but Multiclass still working on that initial. Milk Toast Boy pushing at the front on his scoring run. He finds a way through the inside. 5 points for Uinta Madness.
And going a quarter away at the track on one skate through that one.
Multiclass taking some abuse in the pack from Uinta blockers. Roll man really working him over hard, along with Insane. Multiclass is out now on his initial pass. Milk Toast Boy out on a scoring run. He's going to call that one off with 4 points.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in at ColoradoSports.TV, and I want to, for this next moment or so, direct your attention to the bottom right corner of your screen where you will see a donate button. Please be generous. Help keep roller derby on. ColoradoSports.TV. We're bringing you Mayday Mayhem, one of the largest sanctioned bouts so far this year.
That's right, and the largest tournament ever in Colorado, I've heard. Grimes and Punishment gets popped out to the inside. He's going to have to recycle. Sassy Sasquatch looking for the inside line. He gets it. Going to pick up lead jammer status for Uinta Madness. Grimes and Punishment recycled once again to the inside. Khan doing a great job of pulling him all the way back. Grimes pushing on the inside. He's going to find a way through for his initial pass. Sassy Sasquatch, though, still in for points. Gets past the last Lane County blocker, going to call that one off with a grand slam.
Sassy Sasquatch has put some points on the board so far. 24 points are his for the bout. 29, excuse me. He picked up that last 5.
He started jamming a little bit later in the first half as well, so a really good strategy on the part of Uinta Madness to bring some jammers out a little later in the game for fresh legs and all those reasons we've been talking about.
They're rolling with 6 different jammers as opposed to the 5 jammers that have been rolling for Lane.
Just under 16 minutes left to play in the second period. That's number 69 out for Uinta Madness, Muffin Muncher. And Packin' Man for Lane County gets knocked out to the outside. He's going to be recycled all the way back by number 570 in Thane.
He's in a power jam right now.
Muffin Muncher sitting in the box. Packin' Man seeing if he can pick up this initial pass for Lane County and get through. Direction of gameplay penalty is going to take number 42 out. That's Effin for Uinta Madness. Muffin Muncher back onto the track and ready to engage from the penalty box. He meets the back wall of Lane County, steps right around the outside line. Easy pass for the Uinta jammer. Packin' Man finally gets that lead jammer nod and calls the jam off.
But he didn't pick up any points on that last one. And, you know, if you watched in Thane on that last one, they're showing not only as his fast footwork as a jammer, but also an amazing blocker. He was the rearmost blocker in the pack, and he made its way quickly through the pack and became the front blocker in the same moment before the jammer even got through. Love to see that kind of footwork
Absolutely.
and that kind of speed through the pack on a blocker.
And I think that's why he's such a successful jammer as well, has been for his team in this game. Mr. Testosterone, though, right now has the star for Uinta, and he's out on his initial pass, taking lead jammer status. Grimes and Punishment about a half track behind him, jamming for Lane County Concussion. He's putting the speed on, trying to pressure the Uinta jammer to call it off, which is exactly what he does. 4 points on the board for Uinta. We have just under 14 minutes left in the game. Uinta Madness at 196, Lane County at 73.
Uinta Madness, of course, in the white jerseys. Lane County in the black jerseys. And that last jam had the 2 top scoring jammers from each team facing off against each other.
I think I see Multiclass taking the star for Lane County this time. He gets knocked out to the outside, recycled. It's Muffin Muncher with the star for Uinta Madness. He's picking up lead jammer status and headed around now for points. Lane County with a bit of a distracted defense there. Muffin Muncher threw easy 5 points on the board for Uinta on that one. Multiclass still fighting for that initial pass. He's got 1 blocker to beat at the front, and he does get by. Going to stop the bleeding on this. Muffin Muncher through again, working on 1 more defensive blocker. He does make it through 4 points, and he's going to call this one off. A lot of jammer awareness in this game, I'm noticing. Well-timed call-offs and good bench management, maybe. So that
I'm
credit
trying
for that
to figure out where they're getting the calls from, because I'm not really hearing the men communicate with each other as much as you might think. But they're doing a great job of knowing exactly where the other jammer is.
That's right.
And keeping up. The blockers may not be paying as much attention, but the jammers sure know.
Lane County lined up in the front of the back there. Quickly through, though, it's Mr. Testosterone for Uinta Madness. He's got lead jammer status. Grimes and Punishment recycled all the way back for Lane County. He's still working on that initial pass. Gets bumped to the inside. Mr. Testosterone takes a spill, but he's back up quickly. 5 points for Uinta Madness. Grimes and Punishment clears on his initial pass, going to stop the bleeding. Mr. Testosterone with a duck around the outside. Points to his head. I think he was looking for a high block there, but 4 points signaled by the jam referee. Easy pass on the inside there. Once again for Mr. Testosterone, picks up another 5 points. Khan takes a penalty, as does Murby Dick, and they're both going to sit down, 1 blocker each from their respective teams, along with now Grimes in punishment. Jammer for Lane County going to sit down for a 30-second penalty. He picked up a cutting the track. That's going to leave Mr. Testosterone out on a scoring run by himself. Easy run on the inside line for another 5-point grand slam. Uinta really pouring on the points in this one. Mr. Testosterone back in again and picking up points. Takes a spill, but my, what a quick recovery from Mr. Testosterone.
In his knees?
It looks like he has springs under those knee pads. He's going to call this one off, though. Ice the jammer. Looks like Grimes in punishment was just leaving the box when he called it, so I believe Lane County will be able to field a jammer in this next jam.
That was a 29-point jam.
Wow. You know, with the new 30-second penalties, it's a pretty impressive scoring run. But he didn't face a lot of defense on those passes, so.
No, he didn't. At least 2 passes when Grimes in punishment was still being held at the back of the pack. And even though Grimes in punishment got through his initial pass and was on his scoring run, Mr. Testosterone knew his blockers would keep him back. And he just kept going.
Milk Toast Boy removes his helmet cover, taking his lead jammer status away. I don't know if he knew that he did that, but he got lead jammer status, flung his helmet penny around, and lost lead jammer status. But in with a quick scoring run, he is going to go ahead and pick up points for that pass. 5 points on that one. Not going to be able to call this one off, though. It's going to go the full 2 minutes with 9 minutes 45 seconds left on the period clock.
I'm sure he knew what he was doing. I mean, everyone knows you have to keep that star on your helmet.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you lose that lead jammer status.
Multi-class now out on his initial pass as well and coming in for points this time. He hits the back of the pack hard and falls backwards. Gonna have to recycle. Milk Toast Boy into the pack as well on a scoring run. He moves left and right, juking through. 5 more points on the board for Uinta Madness. Multi-class still fighting in the back. 4 points on this scoring run. He's looking really tired, Miss Rabbit.
I'm seeing them just gasping for breath, and I think the altitude, I have to say, it's definitely hitting.
This sport is never easy, but especially it's not easy at altitude if you're not used to the change. So I don't know when they arrived here. Maybe it was just yesterday, and they haven't really had time to adjust. Multi-class fighting hard at the back. He's definitely not giving up.
Oh, that's what I love about Derby. They never give up. They just always have fun.
Big hit from Muffin Muncher's going to send him out of bounds, going to force him to recycle once again. Milk Toast Boy finds the line on the inside. Another scoring run for him. Really opening the score up for Uinta Madness in this game. Hard fought point, 1 point there for multi-class.
And we're looking at a 30-point jam for Milk Toast Boy and a 4-point jam there for multi-class. That was very hard fought for Lane County. I think he deserved every one of those points. He worked very hard to get them.
Absolutely. Crimes and Punishment taking the star for the next jam for the Lane County squad up against. It's a little difficult to see. Looks like In Thane, number 570, out for lead jammer for Uinta Madness. But Grimes in Punishment finds the inside line. He's out on his initial pass as well. In Thane coming up on the Lane County wall. He will be picking up points on this run. Forearm penalty, though, indicated by the jammer referee, and Thane gonna sit down. This jam will go the full 2 minutes. Grimes in Punishment with a big scoring opportunity here. Keeps his wheels in bounds, and he's pushing through the defense, finds the inside line. He's gonna pick up all 5 points on that pass. Grimes in Punishment in again. Inside line once again. He has made good use of that in this jam. 10 points so far for Grimes in Punishment and Lane County. Nice clearing block from his teammate on that run. Grimes and Punishment pushing at the front while Inthane is going to start re-engaging from the penalty box at the back of the pack. Grimes tries to call it off, but not lead jammer. This one will go the full 2 minutes. Grimes with a beautiful apex jump. Picks up 4 more points this time as Inthane is back on the track. Inthane threw for 4 points of his own. This one's going to go pass for pass now for the rest of the time remaining in this jam.
Lane County is down. They only have 2 blockers. So.
Grimes and Punishment looking a little bit renewed here, though, with some good moves in this jam, picking up points for the Concussion. He's through once again.
He's not hit as much of blocking there this time, so it's a little bit easier on him. He's not fighting against the pack.
Right there at the end, Grimes screams through the pack. 4 more points on the board before the jam ends.
Grimes and Punishment picked up 31 points during that jam for Lane County. Inthane picked up 16.
So still a great scoring run for the Concussion.
It looks like that penalty box is getting a little bit full there for Uinta. They're starting out at a bit of a disadvantage. We have a timeout called now.
Yep, clock stopped at 5 minutes, 7 seconds left in this game. 108 for Lane County, 280 for Uinta Madness.
And
getting a little scoreboard clock adjustment there, it looks like, but we're about to get underway again.
I want to remind you, of course, that these teams were ranked. Lane County was ranked 33rd and Uinta ranked 34th.
I think that's going to change now.
So,
Uinta with a decisive upset.
Rather fascinating, almost crab sideways skating there. Packing Man.
Packing Man in for points now. Lane County blockers up at the front of the pack. Mr. Testosterone picks up 1, none for Lane County.
Looking at 4.5 minutes left in this game. Lane County in the black jerseys and Uinta in the white, if you're just now joining us.
Okay, out to jam for Uinta Madness. Looks like Skaticus Maximus up against Grimes and Punishment.
They've slowed things down a bit on this particular jam. Running a denser pack.
Both jammers recycled back into turn 4. It's multi-class jamming for Lane County. Multi-class gets out first, lead jammer for the team in black, but not too far behind is Skaticus Maximus. He's going to be putting the pressure on. Multi-class looking a little leisurely coming around corner 2. He's going to call that off and prevent the scoring opportunity for Uinta. So 0-0 jam on that one. Just over 3 minutes left in this game.
We saw the bulk of the scoring happening, I think, in the first half pretty much for Uinta. They could catch up and do half and half.
One stat that I do see that's looking quite different in this half are the power jam points. Lane County has really taken better advantage of their power jams in the second half. Grimes and Punishment now out for lead for Lane County. Lane County really improving their lead jammer percentage as well in the second half. Not too far behind, though, it's number 570, Inthane for Uinta Madness, putting the pressure on. Uinta Madness blockers mostly up at the front of the pack now. Grimes and Punishment sneaking up on the pack, gets 2 points, gonna call that jam off. It's gonna bring Lane County's score up to 111, Uinta Madness at 281.
And Lane County at 110 on that one.
They sent it back.
Yeah, they
110,
sent it
then
back.
111, then 110.
Uinta
So
281. We're looking at a 171-point difference.
a huge
between these
differential.
teams. I really, since they've each played each other, they've each won one time. I really expected a closer score here.
Yeah. All right, that's Mr. Testosterone out for lead for Uinta Madness. Multiclass has his initial pass taken care of as well now, so Mr. Testosterone in for 4 points. He might let this period clock run out a little bit. We're only a minute and a half until the end of this game.
Both teams really working hard, absolutely every jam all the way through.
Very physical game. Mr. Testosterone gets stopped by Dr. B.
We've seen some really high-scoring jams, and they're not necessarily all power jams that have been high-scoring. We've seen 20, 21 points picked up with both jammers on the floor, and we've also seen a lot of instances where there have been no lead, which of course shot those points up as they're just racing around.
One Uinta Madness blocker was trying to hop into that jam, but came onto the track a little bit late, so he had to go back out onto the bench. It looks like everyone's got a full pack anyway, though, so I'm not sure. That must have been some kind of misunderstanding. In the meantime, Grimes and Punishment out for lead jammer for Lane County Concussion, and over a half of a track behind. It's number 570 in Thane for Uinta Madness. Uinta up in the front of the pack, but Grimes has entered the pack now, picking up points as we speak, pushing at the front wall.
Grimes and Punishment is just being a power horse. Out of the 47 jams of this game, he has jammed 22 times.
Wow. That's almost every other jam.
Yes. Been an absolute power horse for this one.
Timeout going to Lane County Concussion. We'll see if they got that in before the period ran out. Hugs on the line there between these two teams.
I think we have our unofficial final right now. So the referees are looking over the scores. Let's go over some of the top scores of the game. Mr. Testosterone put 112 points on the board out of the 287 points that Uinta picked up. That's pretty impressive and far outshines everyone. But I think Milquetoast might have been trying to catch up because he has 91 points he put on the board for that particular game. The high scores coming in, of course, for Lane County was Grimes and Punishment, jamming 22 times out of the 47. He picked up 62 points for Lane County.
Well, one thing I do see obvious based on the score, but all of the Lane County Concussion jammers ended up with negative differentials on their point scoring, points per jam. So I think that just speaks to, the discrepancy we see on the scoreboard here at the end of the game. But Uinta Madness jammers a lot more successful, picking up more points than their opposition jammer while they were out on the track.
Well, they also brought in some fresh jammers in the second half that didn't jam at all in the first or jammed very little in the first. And if you look at the number of jams each of the jammers pushed, no one did more than 12 jams.
On the Uinta squad, yeah, and that could have been a real key to their success here.
And their jammers were much more rested. And, of course, Grimes and Punishment bearing the brunt of the jamming duty for Lane County.
Well, we want to let you know what's coming up next on track 1 at 4:30 p.m. We're going to take a little bit of an extra break, about an hour from now. It's going to be West Texas Roller Dolls, who we saw first thing this morning, up against the Sioux City Roller Dames from Sioux City, Iowa. So that'll be, again, at 4:30 here on track 1. Miss Rabbit, it was a pleasure to call the game with you. Thank you.
I had a great time, Star Trek. It's great.
Okay, well, we'll see everyone back here, track 1 at 4:30. Thanks for tuning in to Colorado Sports TV.